Rebecca Wright.
I'm trying to feel the eye again. I've lost somewhere in my head. I can hide it all on my own. Holding tight to the pledge. I'm somewhere near the edge. I wishing we never met. I'm scared of being without you. Afraid I won't ever
Being
and I can't get inside of my head yet. Nigga like who I'm becoming. It's all I ever wanted. Never liked me when you sober. Only like you when I'm lonely.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, people. Good morning.
What it do, James? Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
Today is Thursday, March 18, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. Good morning to everybody in the chat room. Hit that share, like, and subscribe button. You know what to do. How's everybody doing this morning?
Doing all right. It's a lot in the news, you know.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of Yeah, a lot of updates in the news, and I think we should get right into it because it's going to be a jam-packed show today, and I want to make sure that we hit at least really, really big topics.
All right, well, take the helm, Captain. What we got first?
Captain.
As I'm struggling to pull up the document.
See, that's why. See, you trying to tell me to rush.
It won't come up. No, I'm not rushing. I actually wanted to go into
it's a whole lot of it's a lot.
It's not coming up for me.
It's not coming up for you. All right, I'll take the helm. Per you. Okay. Good morning again to everybody. There are a lot of updates, a lot of things that are happening across the country. Yesterday was a very tragic day, and the updates that we have for the story of the ATL spy shootings and massacre are sobering. On Wednesday afternoon, many American outlets such as the Washington Post and the New York Times and others repeated without comment that Robert Long, the alleged shooter in the Atlanta spy massacre, did not carry out his attack because he was racist. In stark contrast to the American media, a Korean newspaper reported an eyewitness account that directly contradicted that. According to the eyewitness testimony provided to the newspaper, the 21-year-old was yelling, "I am going to kill all Asians," while he carried out his attack at one of the massage parlors. The 21-year-old man suspect in Tuesday's rampage told the police that he had an addiction to sex and described the massage parlors as, quote, temptation he wanted to eliminate, according to authorities. The issue with this, Rebecca and James, is the fact that the police themselves simply took this shooter at his word and repeated that to the press. And then the press repeated that to the country. And all of a sudden, a man who went in and targeted mostly Asian women. Actually, he targeted all Asians. And there happened to be, I believe, 2 white people who were killed there as well. They're now sowing the narrative, the police doing the active work of this shooter, spreading the narrative that it wasn't about race, despite the fact that he specifically targeted Asian American or Asian and Asian American women. What were your thoughts about all this, Rebecca?
Listen, I struggled watching a clip of the live of the police officer speaking.
Oh, yeah.
I know that just watching how the narrative had changed. I know yesterday I was saying, like, what was the motive? What was going on? And honestly, Ben, I can say right here that that psychology degree situation that you have, spot on. Because the way that you read through that, the way yesterday you were like, he probably has some kind of sex addiction or something with, with this particular type of people, Asian women. And And he went on this murder spree, right? And I was like, yeah, he's like, and I can tell this is a hate crime, but was it particularly towards Asians? You were like, I mean, it's not out there like that, but we can just see. And I was like, okay. And yesterday when the news came out, it was literally word for word what you said. So spot on that. And it's so sad that we really just, when white folks do stuff like this, we know it's going to be a hate crime off rip. Yeah. Plenty, that's it. It's crazy because with all the news that developed, we thought we were going to get that in the media. Not that we thought, but the conversation was, you can't steer around that, beat around the bush. Yet the narrative became, oh boy had a bad day.
Oh my God.
Oh boy had a bad day.
That pissed me off so bad.
That angered me. That angered me a lot. And again, I can't get to the document, but do we have that clip?
Yeah, no, we have it. And it was during the press conference yesterday, during the briefing yesterday, that Captain Jay Baker, I want to make sure we say his name. He was so quick to sympathize and empathize with the murderer. Let's take a quick look at that clip.
For the investigators, they interviewed him this morning, and they got that impression that, yes, he understood the gravity of it, and he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
Remorseful?
I'm not going to go to. I don't know if he was remorseful or not.
He's a pretty young guy with you.
Yeah, so that was Captain Jay Baker saying he had a bad day, and this is what he did. I'm sorry, when I have a bad day, I go smoke some weed.
Okay. I
don't go kill people. What do you do on your bad days, Rebecca?
I work out. I dance. Sing, and I meditate.
At any point, do you think about picking up a gun and go and kill people?
No, that, and I don't even like guns. I don't even mess with guns. But even if, I don't do all of that. White folks do that, and because white folks protect white folks because of white privilege. It's going to be he had a bad day. It's going to be walking the shooter of the church to the Burger King.
Mother of Man.
It's going to be Kyle Rittenhouse, or whatever, being walked away after taking pictures with these same police officers and being walked away like they needed to protect him and shelter him. That's what it's always going to be. They're going to protect these domestic terrorists, and they're going to say he just had a bad day. No, my dude, police officer, sir, what's his name? Johnson?
Baker. Jay Baker. Johnson.
Jay Baker.
He might as well be Johnson. Johnson.
But Officer Baker, Jay Baker, you have to understand. And news has, look, and I don't want to get ahead of the ball, Benjamin Dixon.
Yeah. Like you're either going to you're either going to drive the ship.
Because I can't get to it. And I really want to be on the same page on that.
I mean, but you got it all. Like we all went through that yesterday. Before you get there, though, I want to ask James, what do you do on your bad day, James?
Video games and music. That's it.
Yes.
And smoke a Black and Mild cigar.
on my worst
you
day.
You so hood.
Yeah.
That's it.
Them Black and
I can't say what else I do. Look. Mama watching, so it's
Mama's watching.
No, not Mama's
that. No. On my worst day, when literally everything in my world was falling apart, and if anybody had a justification to run up in some place and not shoot people, but run up in there and lay some hands on people, it would have been me. On my worst day, I carried my ass to somebody's raggedy bar, and I sat there and I just thought about it, and I actually cried at that bar. I know the bartender was like, this dude going through. Yeah, I was going through on my worst day, right? And for this police officer, this sheriff's deputy, whatever the hell he is, skinhead racist is what he really is, for him to say that as a justification, as a clarification, as any kind of way of sympathy. What about the day his victims had, right? What about the day the victims' families had? What about the rest of their lives, the families who now have to cope with the fact that their loved ones were gunned down in a massacre? What kind of days do you think they're going to have going forward? So, Rebecca, for him to say that, it was like, I knew. And I was walking in the prophetic yesterday, if you want to call it that, because when I saw that headline, I said, look at this skinhead trying to tell us it's not about racism when he's probably a racist himself. And that's what came out later on. That's what you were alluding to, Rebecca.
Yes. And so with that being said, he actually they went online because social media is fast. Social media is faster than the FBI trying to get the Capitol terrorist identification. They went online, found his page, and then he actually, it looks like he actually is somebody who is xenophobic himself. He had posted a T-shirt with Chinese that basically said that the Chinese people were at the cause of the virus. So it was basically a Trump supporter, as we can say. And those people, we know who they are. Those are the ones that were at the Capitol. Those are the ones that wanted the states to open up to go get their roots dyed. Those are the ones that blame everything on Black Lives Matter. Those are the ones that hold seats in office, saying that Black Lives Matter is more corrupt than is more dangerous than the people that ran up into the Capitol. So these are the people that are going to protect each other. And this, when we say that we are scared when police officers come around us, that's because police officers will shoot us down. Police officers will never say this person was having a bad day. Police officers will show up to the scene of a 9-year-old having a mental breakdown and tase little mama. But they'll go over here and say that this man is having a bad day. But this is the issue that we have all across the board. Call it what it is. Say what it is. Call a thing in the words of Bianca Van Zant. It's terrorism. It's terrorism. This is a white man. He's 21. Yes, he's a young man.
And they were calling him a kid.
Little boy. They keep calling him a kid. They keep trying to give him compassion and empathize with him. And that's what I heard when the police officer spoke. It's disgusting. And this is the thing that we have to deal with. But yesterday we talked about the murderer, the massacre of that family over the check. And not one person alluded to mental health disorders. And especially with him being put out on the streets after attempting to kill her the first time. They suddenly were saying, these poor folks, Black folks don't always do this. Black folks are this way. That's what it always is. It's just going to be negative. There's going to be his mugshot. It's going to be all of that. What we see here, they're trying to show him in photograph and in a media version of him that just looks down and out and lost.
But that's because they always humanize white killers. They have more empathy with white killers, and the reason is because they're racist themselves. And a lot of people are like, Glenn Greenwald. I'm gonna call out Glenn Greenwald every day until further notice, because I used to I actually worked with him very, very briefly, but he's on social media now saying, well, how do we know it was racism? Because he targeted Asian women, you moron.
Yeah.
And then the way we knew that skinhead cop was a racist, simply because he empathized. The first thing he did was empathize with the murderer rather than the victims. And then it came out, and Rebecca, this is what you're talking about. He came out with these COVID-19 shirts, imported virus from China. I think if we have an image of that, put that up on the screen. This is what he was promoting and selling on his website, on his social media, right? This is, and here's what's so dangerous when you're talking about it. Like, the reason they don't have empathy for us is because their ideology is drenched in, no. I was going to say drenched in white supremacy. No, their ideology is white supremacy, right? And so the reason he wanted us to have more empathy for Aaron Long was because he sees something in Aaron Long that's common for him, because there he is on his social media page promoting COVID-19 virus imported from China, the exact phraseology that Donald Trump says, right? China, right? So this is who they are. So when they pull us over, I want to get to this point and then I throw it back to you. When these cops pull us over, society expects us to view them through the lens of they are there to protect and serve, and they're, the representatives of the law and all these types of things. But truth of the matter is that they are ideological. They are white supremacists. And for the most part, if you look at their voting patterns, they voted for Donald Trump. Right? They support that type of thinking. And so while everyone is looking at them, the badge and the uniform gives them some sense of authority, which is why it pissed me off so bad that the media, Washington Post, New York Times, all of them took what this man said and regurgitated it and said that it wasn't about race, versus looking at the obvious that it was 100% about race.
So one thing... Yeah, go ahead. I was going to ask you, Bubba. I know yesterday you brought it up to us that it was going live. So what was going through your head when you were watching it?
Man, when I watched it at first, I saw him, and one thing that stuck out to me, and this I was just about to say, Rebecca, was that he made sure to emphasize that there were 2 white people involved in the killing. He was up there talking. It was also there were 2 white people that were there that were murdered. So we're sorry to their family, but there were 2 white people there, and then of course the other Asian victims that were involved as well too. And it was just like, why was there a need to stress that? Then you want to emphasize that he was just having a bad day. Man, get the hell out of here. We all know what that was.
Right.
We all know what that was. And you can look at the other black officers just looking at the lineup right there. They weren't having it. Their faces showed it all at their press conference. And Mary Bottoms, she already knew what it was too. The look on her face is like, nah, player, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it.
It's funny that you point that out because I didn't watch the whole thing. I was just getting annoyed by
facts.
And I was at work at the same time, and then folks was calling, voice was sounding a little similar to his, and I was bothered.
Rebecca.
So, but it's good. It's crazy that you point that out. The fact that he wanted to point out that 2 of the people who were murdered by this terrorist were white, and to me, they could have just been in the way. For what he was doing. They were just in the way, and they may have been trying to stop it or whatever. And he was going to continue this spree. And this is a terrorist. This is a terrorist right here on American soil. This is a terrorist that looks like you, police officer. So, but he's going to try to protect. He's going to be a fatherly person to this little boy. He's going to protect him. He's going to do all that. And this is what we call white privilege. This is what we see in these particular spaces. These are the ones that go to jail and particularly ask. Okay, they particularly ask for a certain type of diet.
Right.
Okay, Yeah, it's so. This whole damn few months has been ridiculous. Now, mind you, we have been talking about this for years. But I need y'all white folks to really look at y'all white folks, y'all cousins and
look at your cousins and them,
and see exactly who they are, and see why we're tired of trying to tell you who they are when you can just see. There is nothing but proof in these last few months, every single day, that y'all folks is out there doing the disrespect. And sorry, Ben, go ahead.
No, I mean, the thing is though, I wanted to add to what you're saying is because we have an army of white folks, some of them who claim to be on our side, right? The Glenn Greenwalds of the world claim to be on our side. They actively cover for this racist, white supremacist activity by trying to make it seem like, it had nothing to do with race. Where's the data? The data's in the morgue.
Yes.
The data is right there at the morgue. Yes. Joe Biden also jumped in on this and said he wants to wait on, and I guess the president of the United States has a different standard that he has to go by. But I didn't appreciate, anyway, let's take a listen to this clip of what he had to say about the shootings and his response.
Very concerned because, as you know, I've been speaking about the brutality against Asian Americans for the last couple months, and I think it is very, very troublesome. And but I'm making no connection at this moment to the motivation of the killer. I'm waiting for an answer as the investigation proceeds from the FBI and from the Justice Department. So, so I'll have more to say when the investigation is completed.
The clovers in his pocket had more clarity than he did. Bruh. Like the evidence is in the morgue. That's all I'm gonna say. And I want to go one more clip to run our pressure up a little bit more.
Because it's high.
It is high.
It's high.
Surprisingly high. This is what we're dealing with. This is what's being spread like one of the top news shows, not because he's good, but because he's white and he's on Fox News. Tucker Carlson said that there's no proof of white supremacy. Take a look at this clip.
So the guy's accused of murdering 8 people, and all the questions were about race. Okay. But notice, it's the politicians who jump in immediately to divide the country along racial lines. Vivek Ramaswamy has thought a lot about this. He's the author of the book Woke Inc., and he joins us tonight. Vivek, thanks so much for coming on. So you've been hearing this. This is such a sad story, a horrible story, but it's part of a much bigger story we've been told for the past couple of weeks, that these very real attacks against Asian Americans are somehow a product of white supremacy. I don't think there's any evidence whatsoever to support that. In fact, I think it's kind of the opposite of the truth. Why do they keep telling us that?
Look, what happened today was really sad, and I think we have to recognize that a tragedy was a tragedy today. But that's a tragedy irrespective of the color of the skin of the perpetrator or the color of the skin of the victim. And you know what this reminds me of, actually, Tucker, is a few years ago, actually in 2016, there was the killing at Pulse nightclub, a different tragedy. It was an LGBTQ nightclub. Yeah. And initially, right after it happened, President Obama showed up on the scene and said this was an attack on the LGBT community. And in fact, then candidate President Trump actually said the same thing. Turns out in these situations, we have to wait for the facts to bear themselves out. That was an act of Islamic terrorism that was relatively random against the United States. He tried to attack a different club first and didn't even know that it was an LGBT club, any evidence suggests. So I think in cases like these, the facts actually matter. And I think it's shameful when identity politics obsessed politicians jump on this as a personal opportunity for themselves.
I got $100.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Fuck him, and fuck what he stand for, bro.
You guys are on a
how the fuck you
roll,
gonna tell me that? You gonna tell me that was a random ass shooting at an LGBT?
Come on,
bro,
man.
get the fuck out of here, man.
That's
I lost friends in that shit, dude. I lost friends in that shit. You gonna tell me it's a goddamn man?
Nah, I'm gonna pay it for you, dog, because that's this is what they
real.
do, man. They have. If we actually look at the violence in this country, there are 2 causal links: white supremacy and capitalism. White supremacy targets anyone who is not an active supporter of white supremacy. And for people like Candace Owens and that dude who was just on the screen, don't get it twisted. When they're done killing the rest of us, they're going to come for you. They are going to come and eradicate, because there's no amount of hatred that is enough for them. It always, and so what the media, particularly Fox News, what they have to do is they have to make sure that they always separate the cause from the effect. The effect for Night Pulse Club was the massacre of people from the LGBTQ community. But because Fox News and conservatives actively create the hatred that is, and it's not, actually, there's some other communities that got that problem too, right? But in terms of people who are making millions of dollars off of anti-LGBTQ hate every single day, the conservative movement, they fundraise on that. And so, of course, they could not possibly allow the effect to be connected to the cause, because they're the cause. Yes. And of course, they can't allow the shooting yesterday, the cause, to be connected to the effect. The effect was this white supremacist incel went in there and killed Asian women. But they have to separate it from there and say it couldn't possibly have anything to do with white supremacy, because they're the ones who are creating and sustaining and expanding that white supremacy. They are the cause. So how would we ever expect the people who create the problem to ever take responsibility for the problem? They won't. And they're going to gaslight us until the end of time. And this is why we have to absolutely eradicate white supremacy like the cancer that it is.
Yes. And Ben, before you, like, both of y'all, you guys are real passionate. And Bubba, my condolences, because I know that was a really tough moment for you. Because hearing that and having to relive it, this is what those people do, Fox News. They'll go and talk about Sandy Hook with no kind of heart, no kind of nothing. And they will have people relive these moments every time because of their own hate. But protect these freaking capital terrorists, this terrorist yesterday, all of these people. We went 1 year, Ben. I think that whole month we did shooting after shooting after shooting after shooting after shooting. All these white terrorists, and Donald Trump had yet to say anything about those shootings and say that they were what they were, which was terrorism and white supremacy at its best. And yesterday, somebody tagged us in something, and I can't remember what the publication was, but it said how Black people can give solidarity to in this moment.
Like,
and
no, that was the New York Times said that shit.
The New York Times, okay. So that ruined my whole spirit, because I'm like, you see, and now you guys are putting it on us. We're over here dealing with the same thing, right? Every single day. So we understand what this looks like and what it is. We do. So at the end of the day, you need to go to the white folks. When you guys are creating these publications and creating the narrative to protect the white people. Listen, I ain't about that life. New York Times or whoever is will publish these things. You guys are putting this on us, Black folks, and telling us how we should empathize, sympathize, and be there for,
and how we can be better allies.
Yes, and how we need to be better allies. White folks, it needs to stop. We're over here hashtagging things like stop Asian hate, stop this, stop white supremacy, stop white supremacy.
I tell you what we can do. You want to know how we can be better allies? Never mind. I can't allude to too much violence on this show, but I tell you one thing. When we start protecting ourselves the way we need to protect ourselves, we're going to be better allies to the Asian community by protecting them the same way we're going to protect ourselves. Get your own get your guns, folks. Get your Second Amendment right. It is your Second Amendment right to bear arms, right? I bet you if a bunch of Black, brown, and Asian people armed up and we start popping back on these clowns, they'll be like, oh, no, we didn't mean be that kind of ally. What they want is for us to bear the brunt. They want Black people to bear the brunt for white supremacy in this country. That's what they've always wanted. They want us to grin and bear it. They want us to put it on our shoulders and carry it like we were carrying cotton from the fields. They want us to bear the responsibility of all of the trauma that is caused by their arrogance, their insignificance, their mediocrity, and their hatred towards anything that's not like them. And most of all, they want us to continue to bear the burden of the fact that when it's time for white supremacy to come down, they feel like they're under attack. They want us to coddle them. That's why they don't want to talk about cancel culture, because the number one thing we got to cancel is white supremacy. That's why they always talk about identity politics, because their identity has been the identity controlling and dominating society all through Western civilization, and it's time for that shit to come to an end. James, I don't know how you feeling, man, but if you could play some music, take us to a break, I'm gonna go grab an aspirin, because we all need to hear something. Damn it.
Cancel me, baby. Cancel white supremacy.
Okay. Preach, sister. Ooh. Shout out to everybody, y'all. We're going to get into this music, y'all, and switch up the vibe a little bit, all right? And shout out to everybody in the chat room. Y'all, they basically just paid for every cuss word.
Boy, you had me from the
and my apologies, Mama. I apologize, but I had to get that out.
The way you
I do.
wrote upon me, yeah. Man, I felt your energy. Wasn't used to being loved and treated differently, yeah. But something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where
Good morning, everybody in the chat room. Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Baby, keep it right there. Don't you stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up.
I appreciate y'all so much, man. I appreciate the love so much.
Keep your focus. Don't you make me change my mind. If you love me, baby.
Good morning, my mama. Good morning, Sensation.
Baby, don't you? Baby, don't you? Baby, don't you switch up the vibe? Baby, don't you? Baby, don't you? Baby, don't you switch up the vibe? Will you take me on a trip? Always up and down and back and forth in merry-go-round. I just wanna get it right, but when you go left, I'm stuck here feeling left behind. Cause something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're going different directions.
Jimmy, I'm doing good. Thank you so much, sir. Savage Sweetheart, Luann, Sophia, Angela, good morning, y'all, and thank y'all.
Keep it right there, don't you stress the flow. You're trying to
it's true, I appreciate you.
Should take it slow. Baby, keep your focus, don't you make
Good morning, Sophia. Good morning, Mara.
If you love me, baby, don't
good morning to everybody that's checking us out on all our streaming platforms, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you switch up the vibe. you do.
I'm gonna tell you that I love you 100 times a day.
What's up, Diesel? Good morning. Good morning.
You'll get tired of my voice. That's how much I'm gonna tell you that I'll miss you. I'll miss you if you go. Yes, I'm
Thank you, Mama. I appreciate that. Love you.
How much I tell you, Mama. I tell you, Papa, too.
Infinite Content, good morning. From Ray Harsh, good morning. I appreciate that.
I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you that I need you.
Nick Esther, good morning, y'all. Major Hydraulic, welcome to your first episode of Like It or Not, sir. You will not be disappointed. Make sure you stay tuned, all right?
I want to let you know.
Lateef, brother, I appreciate that, sir.
The only one for me. No one else. I'm going to shout it out. Yeah. Up on the mountaintop. I'm going to let everyone know about my love. So I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too. Oh, there's something deep inside. Yeah, that really.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the screen. My brother Benjamin Dixon, y'all.
All right, welcome back to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. You know what? Let's just go. Let's just go forward with what's going on in the world, because that's the burden that we have. We constantly and consistently have the burden of picking right back up after trauma and moving forward. I want to welcome to the screen our first guest this morning, Dr. Abdul El Sayed. His second time to the show. So excited to have him back to discuss Medicare for All, his book, A Citizen's Guide, physician, epidemiologist, educator, author, and speaker. Dr. Sayed, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm grateful. This is a challenging moment, and our hearts bleed for our Asian American brothers and sisters. And the bigger question that we have to be asking ourselves right now is how many more? When do we take on this white supremacy and the way that it wraps around a epidemic of gun violence that takes lives that should still be here with us? And so, I appreciate you having me, but this is a challenging moment. And, ultimately what we're talking about is how do we engage everybody's body and make it worth the same? I mean, that's the entire moral premise underlying Medicare for All, because our healthcare system does this kind of violence every day. It tells us that some bodies are less worthy of getting healthcare. If you're black or brown or poor in this country, that healing your body is less important than healing other people's bodies. And so this is part of the same system. But when we wrap it around bureaucracy, it takes away some of the moral offensiveness of it. And I think it's important for us to recognize that buried inside.
Wow, I really appreciate you contextualizing like that. It's about making sure that everyone's body is valued the same, and it takes a level of hatred and condescension and degradation and just bigotry for us to dismiss the value of any human life. We saw that yesterday, and we see this happening every single day across the country as it pertains to the disparities in healthcare treatment. Could you talk about those disparities and contextualize it for your book, Medicare for All, A Citizen's Guide? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, if you're black in this country, on average, your life expectancy is about 4 years lower, 3 times the probability of dying in childbirth, whether you're the baby or the mom. And we know that the consequences we see panning out every day in this COVID-19 pandemic, 2 to 3 times as likely to have either gotten COVID-19 or died of COVID-19 if you're black or brown. And not only that, but when we saw the life expectancy numbers come out for the first half of 2020, we saw on average a 1 year drop in life expectancy. That was 3 years if you were a black man. And so it's not just that you were dying with a higher probability, is that you were dying younger, more years lost off of your life. And so, part of that starts with the way that we think about healthcare. And when you think about healthcare as a consumer good, packed into that, right, is that you are, in effect, burying in, you are engaging and excusing a system whereby wealth has been systematically created for white people and rich people, and we have profiteered off of the bodies of poor people and black and brown people. And when you put that level and say you need to be able to pay for this thing, what you're basically saying is that for those who can't pay and they can't get health care, that's okay with you. And we have to fix that. And so it bears out in the numbers. Every single number you look at when it comes to health, you see worse health metrics for black and brown folks. And I think it starts with us deciding that as a society, everybody's body is worth healing and it's worth preventing illness among them. And I think that starts with Medicare for all.
Man, you're the way you said that made me think of how disposable our bodies have always been to this nation, not only in terms of slavery, but also in terms of whether or not they can extract as much profit they can out of our sickness and our pain. And the fact that there is a profit motive in the first place, that there are people who literally sit with shares in companies, and the way they make their money is off of charging as much as they possibly can for care for someone who's struggling with the most difficult time in their life, somebody who's struggling with cancer, somebody who's struggling with diabetes or any number of ailments. And so it becomes this thing where at one point they need our bodies to keep the system running, but at the same time they don't give a damn if our body falls apart because they'll just replace us with another cog. Could you just speak about that again?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, and you're talking about at the healthcare side, right? That there is a level where you've got hospitals, particularly corporate hospitals, for-profit hospitals, that look at patients and their lives as simply a means of extracting a profit. But then you've got an entire industry, the health insurance industry, whose entire profit motive is predicated on denying people the health care that they already paid for in the form of a premium or a deductible or an employer contribution or a copay. And that system, right, is systematically denying people coverage for things that they need, in fact, care that they've sometimes already gotten. I'll tell you about a story of a woman I met on the campaign trail when I ran for governor in Michigan. And she pulled me aside and she said, I want you to know that all of the things that you say about the health insurance industry are true. And I used to live inside and work inside of that industry. And I left it when my job made me deny coverage for necessary cancer care for a woman who was suffering from breast cancer that I knew would put her in bankruptcy. And yet it was more important that the corporation CEO makes tens of millions of dollars a year than this poor woman get her breast cancer care. And she said, I quit then and there, and I went to nursing school, and I became a nurse who takes care of women with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. And, you think about the moral offense where the rubber hits the road in this system. And yet, we allow that bureaucracy every day to be taken for granted as normal. And we forget the fact that it systematically bears down on poor and working people, and systematically bears down on black and brown people. And you're right. Like, if a body cannot be leveraged for profit, then it's deemed expendable and care is not provided, let alone the fact that that's a human being who's suffering with a preventable or treatable disease, right? I mean, and this is the kind of moral offense that our system perpetrates on people every single day.
Your work, your books, your voice, even on social media, it's all hands on deck for Medicare for All. And yesterday, Representative Pramila Jayapal, chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, she was one of the lead authors on the new Medicare for All bill that they presented to the floor. Could you talk about that happened on yesterday and the path towards us actually getting Medicare for All?
Yeah, I'm really grateful to Representative Jayapal for her leadership for Medicare for All in the House. And they introduced this bill for this congressional session, which is really important. Last Congress, they were able not just to introduce the bill, but to introduce the bill and then to have hearings on the bill really for the first time in congressional history, actual hearings bearing out the question of Medicare for All. Most recently, the Congressional Budget Office, which is sort of the calculator for Congress, they scored the Medicare for All bill and found that it would insure more people and it would cost less money, which obviously anybody who's looking at our healthcare system knows. But that's an important step, right? Because it's showing the power of our Congress people who support Medicare for All to force the conversation about this and force Americans to pay attention. On the other side of this, though, we have to be serious about understanding who the enemies of moral healthcare really are. And those are the corporations who make a lot of money off of it. In 2020 alone, the health insurance industry made more money than it knew what to do with. It moved $151 million in 2020 alone into lobbying the Congress. 845 lobbyists. That's nearly 2 lobbyists per member of Congress, right? 2 full-time people whose job it is simply to lobby every single member of Congress. And so the opposition for Medicare for All, it's not like it comes out of thin air or it's based on some sort of actual philosophical or technical principles. No, it's based on the fact that these corporations have a tremendous amount of money to throw around. And the other thing that we have to be calling out, right? People like Representative Jayapal are leading for the cause, and they're leading with both arms in the fight. But you've got a lot of folks who say that they're for Medicare for All, but are busy taking corporate checks from health insurance corporations. You cannot tell me that you support a system, right, that would move healthcare corporations out of the way and are at the same time behind closed doors taking checks from those very same corporations. And unfortunately, we have too much of that. And so we've got to have a conversation about how this bill moves forward. And that's when we get real champions and real fighters for Medicare for All elected to Congress, and we replace those folks who either are too bought into the corporate system to say anything for Medicare for All at all, or worse, say that they're for Medicare for All in front of your face while they're smiling, and then go behind a closed door, collect a check from the very same people who have been busy creating this system of violent bureaucracy that tells certain people that they're not worth getting health care.
Not this time around, but next time around, I want you to. We're going to name some names, but for the sake of time this morning, I want to then ask the question: if this is the case, and we're facing this level of because it just went by us really quickly, but you said something $150 million when you first said the number. I said, well, that's not a lot of money, you know. Then you said just for lobbying Congress, over 800 lobbyists for Congress with a budget of $150 million for 1 year. How in the world do we fight against that? Because money is power in this country. Money is policy in this country. And most of us who are fighting for Medicare for All, most of us will never even see $1 million in a lifetime, let alone $150 million in a single year for a single cause.
That's right. I mean, this is the thing. Money is power in the system. And because of Citizens United, because of voter suppression, money takes on even more power in our system. And I'll be honest with you, we have an entire chapter in the book called Organizing versus Advertising, because that's what it's going to come down to, right? And we just talked about lobbying. They spend even more money disinforming people through 30-second ads on TV, telling you that you're going to lose your choice, that they're going to ration healthcare, that it's going to cost too much. You've heard these talking points when, they're playing the same exact playbook as Donald Trump when they say, right, that you're going to do something when they're actually doing it, right? And you think about it, right. The health insurance corporation is the number one gatekeeper to what doctor you can see, in-network, out-of-network doctors. If you go to out-of-network doctors, God save you, right? Because you're going to be charged the full cost of that thing, potentially putting you into bankruptcy. They're going to tell you that the care costs too much. Here's the thing, right? 67% of all bankruptcies, personal bankruptcies in our country, 2 out of every 3 are a function of medical debt, right? Deductibles right now are $3,500 for the average family of 4. And by the way, deductible they hide behind this language, right? That nobody understands what it means. The deductible is the money that's a paywall to getting the health care you already paid for as a premium, right? That come out of your paycheck every 2 or 4 weeks after you get sick. $3,500. Now here's the thing. The median family of 4 makes $69,000. If you do the math, that deductible is a biweekly paycheck. I don't know many families that are making $69,000, right, who can afford losing a biweekly paycheck when they thought they were insured in the first place. Yeah. So to put it in perspective, right, they're spending millions upon millions of dollars to disinform you, to tell you that Medicare for All is going to do the thing that they've been doing every single day, right, to create a healthcare system where they either exclude the poorest folks or they extract from everyone else. It is a sham. It is wrong. And the only way that we get through it is when we come together, we find ourselves in this healthcare fight, and we decide that we're going to spend some time, whatever it is, having a conversation with our friends and our family and our loved ones about what could be possible. And that's going to take real work. It's going to take real time. But every real change that's happened in this country that has empowered people and removed the yoke of some corporation or some power system off of their backs has done so because people decided to find themselves in the fight. And this is no different.
You co-authored the book with Dr. Micah Johnson, a Citizen's Guide, Medicare for All, a Citizen's Guide. Can you give us, for the audience, some of the context of the book, some of the things, some of the advice? Tell us about this publication.
Yeah, so the first thing we wanted to do is dissect out the system and explain why it's so expensive and why it works so poorly, right? Because systems are a set of incentives that move money and resources around. And so we wanted to take some of the opacity out of the system and explain that. And then we want to talk about the long history of health reform and fights for health justice in this country and show exactly what the industry has done throughout its history to win these fights, and then talk about how Medicare for All solves those problems and what the politics moving forward needs to look like. And so we wanted to write it in terms that make this conversation clear, easy, simple to understand for folks who maybe haven't spent their whole life thinking about healthcare and don't want to, but want to know what's wrong with our healthcare system and what we can do about it. So I hope folks will check it out. And from time to time, I write a bit more on these issues in my newsletter, The Incision, on Substack. So I hope folks will check that out too. But the hope here, right, is that when we take this conversation out of the talking points that the insurance industry spends billions of dollars to ram into our minds, when we situate ourselves in this fight and we understand how the healthcare system affects us and the people that we love, then there is a space to step back and say, all right, what can we do about it? And I believe deeply in the power of people to come together to change the world around them. And that's what this fight is going to take, alongside so many of the other fights that would make our country more just, equitable, and sustainable.
I want to ask you a kind of a lofty, kind of philosophical question, because you're in this industry. You've worked on this issue for a long time. You even gave the testimony of that other the woman who became a nurse as a result of the breast cancer patient. I'm curious, man. What the hell happens to people in these corporations, particularly in the healthcare industry? What part of their humanity just gets completely truncated such that they participate in the active destruction of human lives through their corporation, through their industry? Because to me, it's like, I see how passionate you are about it. I know how passionate I am and everyone around me is, but we're dealing with on the opposite side of the table, we're dealing with people who would rather spend $150 million in 1 year on lobbyists than to approve somebody's procedure or approve somebody's claim. Like, what have you seen that happens in this world where people who get into it ostensibly for healthcare to care for people, and then lo and behold, they become some of the most vicious, bloodthirsty capitalists I've ever seen? Yeah.
I think they justify their actions because of the power of three things. One is the power of groups, right? You see people who know better, right? Whose mamas taught them better. When they get into groups of people who are all justifying something that they all know is wrong, the group takes on a very different set of behaviors than they do. I mean, honestly, like you could almost think about health insurance corporations as like gangs who are figuring out how to profiteer off of the bodies of sick people, right? I mean, cartels, honestly. They end up doing much of the same work, taking people and extracting money from them while giving them less access to a long, healthy life. The second is the power of words, right? When you create a lexicon that is intended to make the abnormal seem normal, right? And you're speaking in codes that allow you to extract the real meaning of what you're doing out of it. Words like premium, right, or deductible, or copay. Those words don't have actual meanings, right? But they've been created to speak about a thing and take away its moral edge. And then the third is the power of norm. Once everybody sort of gets okay with a system that works the way that this one does, then at some point you stop questioning the moral wrong of the thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, right? Like how many times I was the health commissioner in the city of Detroit, how many times I would walk through a school or work with a building and say, look, you all know that I mean, we have our most vulnerable people most of the day, most of the year in these classrooms that you wouldn't put your own kid in, right? So why are we okay with that? And the answer ends up becoming, well, because we've been okay with that for a long time, right? And so once something becomes a norm, right, at some point people stop seeing it as different. It's like, you know, the news is meant to bring you something new, right? It's in the word. But once it stops being new, it's not news anymore. And once it's not news anymore, like nobody covers it. And and so it's the power of groups, the power of words, and the power of norms that I think insulates a lot of these folks from the consequences of what they do. And I you know, you talk to a lot of them, and they're perfectly nice people, right? They love their kids, and you know, they want what's best for them, and you know, they vote and they do all these things that, you know, they give charity. But they've been insulated by these things from the act of what they do. And my hope is that people stand up and say, oh, no, this is wrong. What we're doing is wrong. This industry is wrong. And we need to get on the right side of history. And, you know, it's sad to me that we don't do that thing, but those things have always been powerful, and they've always been used to justify evil against people.
Wow. I love that that subtle reference to James Baldwin, because he said the same thing about racists during his time. He imagines that they're good people. They love their kids, right? They, you know, but at the end of the day, those things that you just outlined, which is so brilliant, the power of groups, the power of words, and the power of norms creates this monster that we're trying to fight back against. Dr. Abdul El Sayed, the name of the book is Medicare for All, A Citizen's Guide. I want to put it up on the screen one more time. Perfect. Make sure you get this book and support Dr. Sayed's work. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It was a privilege. I really appreciate the work that you do, and thank you for having me.
The pleasure's ours. James, take us to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more Like It or Not.
Good morning again, everyone. We hope that you're enjoying the show thus far. Make sure that you are hitting that like button, share, comment, and subscribe so you know when Like It or Not is going down. Thank you again to our guests for coming on this morning. Absolutely amazing.
ISO, let's get it. Whoa, clear out the room, I'm coming through. They wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill. I'm on a paper route. Extra.
Shout out to everybody this morning, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all.
Bullshit. Yeah, I put that on mamas. Hey, they tryna block all my blessings. They thought I lost for stepping. I bet on me and my team. ISO is what I'm repping. Put on for the whole city. Yeah, I got them rocking with me. I bet on me and my team. ISO is what I'm repping.
Sending emojis. I'm blowing a pack of that OG. Don't be acting like you know me. And if you did, that's the old me. Winter time, rock a cold fleece. Pocket fat, that's obese. Only talking money if it's increased. She give me brain, girl, no teeth. I touch down, bust down. She busted open for a real day. Stay tummied up, trying to build it up, trying to count it up, hill figures. Don't be chillin' with no lil, no. And if I do, I be real with them. Chase a dream, that's a meal ticket. ISO gang, yeah, they still with it. I put it in motion, they got me steady. Thoughts on my mind, it's weighing heavy. Watch how I shine, tell them I'm ready. I'm hitting my stride, let's get to the Fetty. I was just sitting back watching them fold. Racks on me now, yeah, it's looking slow. I hold it down and I got my own. Keeping it grown, we back.
Shout out to Goku, man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Can't walk past me, hey, right up your alley. Wait, I gotta play it safe. Watch me isolate, watch me isolate, watch me isolate. Whoa. Clear out the room, I'm coming through. They wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill. I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it. I'm today's trying to top it. I put commas over bullshit. Yeah, I put that on mamas. They tryna block all my blessings. They thought I lost for stepping. I bet on me and my team. ISO is what I'm repping. Put on for the whole city. Yeah, I got them rocking with me. I bet on me and my team. ISO is what I'm repping. When I get you back, oh yeah.
Chuck, make sure, Chuck, that you are not breaking any furniture, Chuck. Like it or not, is not responsible for any breaking of any furniture. Thank you, management.
I promise you'll never leave me when it comes to you and me. There's no one else I'd rather be with. Baby, I won't let you down. I got it, I know you need it. Love and sick when you're around. Oh, please say
y'all stupid
that you believe it. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't wanna lose you. Baby, don't go. Don't go. When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah.
Martha, good morning, good morning.
When I get you back, oh yeah. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah.
That J&J, baby.
'Cause I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't wanna lose you. Baby, don't go. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah. I promise you'll never leave me. When it comes to you and me.
Yes, very much top dollar sign.
I'd rather be with. When I get you back, oh yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming back to the screen.
When I get you back, oh yeah.
Coming back to the screen. Rebecca and Ben, y'all.
I don't know if the mics are open at that point. Okay, good.
Got no comment. I've got no comment.
Right.
Oh man. What's up, Rebecca? You about to say?
I just wanted to, because our producer, the voice of God, which you guys haven't heard in a while, I feel like, he was actually just telling us that he got the shot, and I was using the wrong terminology. I don't know why I use that phrase, but
you want to
he just got the Moderna, and he was saying how, it's just kind of making him drained. And I let him know. I said, well, let me know if a toe falls off, because I'm trying. Me too. I want to get the shot. I've been hearing a lot of different things, but I really, really I'm ready to be out here in these streets. Look, 2021 is not going to catch me in the house. Okay.
Let me tell you something. I am going to be stuck in the house to 2022. That's because kids can't get their shots until about, Dr. Fauci said 2022, because they just started trials on kids. Now, here's the thing. I appreciate whoever is putting their kids out there for those trials, but I can't for the life of me imagine letting my kids volunteer for a clinical trial. And don't get me wrong, I know there's protections and all those kind of things, but like, we salute whoever is putting their kids out there to get tested for, this vaccine for kids. We appreciate your sacrifice and your commitment to humanity. But in terms of when we can get it, 2022, bruh. And it's like, even when I get this vaccine, they're saying you still have to be careful because you can transmit it. You won't get sick, but you can carry it right back to your household. So it looks like I might not get out of this until I'm 42, yeah.
You'll still be youngish.
You'll still be young. Don't worry. Ben, look how
see how many grades I get. You see how many grades I got?
Look, Ben, it's like, I hear your story, but it ain't mine, baby. I ain't got no kids.
I'm getting my vaccine tomorrow.
Out here in these streets, baby. The streets is calling.
Maybe you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send the kids off on, or maybe I just do a 2-week quarantine. Like I like quarantine myself on the other side of the house or somewhere. But I don't know, man. It's been a long year. That said, James, you know what? I didn't really think, man. I didn't really think about. Because you're from Florida. I mean, that's right around the way. Matter of fact, somebody was asking if we can get videos of us in the marching band. And it's hard. I don't know. Do you have any videos of you marching with Cookman? Because I have a real short clip. No. You can see me. Girl, we ain't talking to you. I'm talking about
y'all don't really just
that's how I am being. It's just like, I just overtalk Rebecca because we talking about the band.
Y'all just gonna look a fool.
So anyway, look. A damn fool.
Yeah, I look like some. I got a clip of me, and I look like somebody just threw me away, like somebody abandoned me on the side of the road. I look so malnourished. I look so tired on that clip. But I found like about 30-second clip where you can just see me marching and playing.
Do you have it?
I have it, but we'll play it tomorrow. I want to see if James. Do you have any?
I'll have to look and see. I know there are a few of me that got some really good close-ups from like the 99, 2000 era. But I know I got a good picture close-up of Mr. Wells like talking in the middle of us while we remember when we used to do Daytona Speedway?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
that he used to having like a pep talk with us, and he's being his good old Mr. Wells stuff. You can see it all on his face.
Somewhere in that picture too.
I think you are, Ben.
Yeah, boy, we look like we were 50 years, like we weren't even born yet. But Daytona, yeah, that's how raggedy we look. Daytona is right down the street from Orlando, man, and I never really put two and two together. That what you said this morning, and I just bring that up only because the audience was showing you so much love. And I just want to give a shout out to everyone who sent a super chat. If you've sent any since then, I may have missed you, but shout out to Becky for the super chat, Black Magic, Luke Kang, Infinite Content, Olivia Bean, Stygian, Stilettos, Gamer, Melanie Shannon, Rusty Earls, Peter Low Frequency, Brenda Johnson, Mama Gwen, Latif Menz, Goku with the whole $100 super chat, man. He said he gonna cover one of those words for you, and Luke Kang with another super chat. So shout out to everyone on YouTube who's showing some love. Oh wow,
yeah,
there's another
Zen Dragon as well.
Yeah, Endless Zen Dragon did 100 as well too.
Oh wow, shout out to
y'all. Y'all really looked out. Now, if you guys can do that often, even when we don't curse, we will be free.
Rebecca.
I want to read at least this one from Endless Zen Dragon. Said, "My heart goes out to you, Bubba. I don't know how I would get through the week without you all. So shout out to you, man.
Appreciate that, for real.
Thank you.
And I've been in that club before. Like we used to go all the time. So just for him to say that, make it seem like he was trying to go to another club. No, the dude that did it was undercover gay himself, and he was confused about what he wanted to do. So he went and did what he did. So F Buddy and F Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yes.
Yeah, that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb, man. That dude is, and they're promoting him. That Tucker Carlson is one of the most dangerous white supremacist propagandists in this country, and he's being shielded by the money of Fox News, and he's also being shielded by people like who claim to be on our side. Those are people I got the biggest issues with. When you claim to be on our side, and you turn around and defend someone who would consistently and persistently spread propaganda that gets us killed. You all are our enemies. I want you to understand very clearly. We have no misconception about it. We're not confused whatsoever. If you defend white supremacy, you are our enemies. Just make a mental note of that. That said, Rebecca, what else we watching?
Enemies, child. They just enemies. So in D.C., this was an armed man arrested at the vice president's residence. So more of these people are out in the streets than we think. So D.C. police arrested Paul Murray, a 31-year-old man from San Antonio. Police responded to the scene around 12 p.m. where they saw Murray was carrying a rifle and a large capacity clip. Investigators have not indicated what the man was doing outside number 1 Observatory Circle. However, a D.C. police source told Fox 5 that the man told uniformed Secret Service members that he wanted to talk to the president. And I believe there's a tweet following. But this story, the way that it's, what I saw yesterday was that this was aimed at Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's got a nice house.
So this to me lets me know that a lot of these gunmen that watch this stuff, they're copycatters in some kind of way. Or they have these chats on Facebook and these unencrypted, or I guess chats that they can text through and things like that. Where these people are walking around planning these things every day. So Vice President Kamala Harris, of course, there's protection all around her. But for this guy to come over here and say that he wanted to talk to the president, talk to the vice president, talk to anybody in power and be out here in front of her home, that should all have us on alert. We're all going to be, when is there going to be a time when we ever could sleep and know that this person or these white folks who just want to go kill are not going to be something for us to worry about. When that situation happened with the terrorists a few days ago or yesterday, or the day before yesterday, excuse me, when that happened and we were in the chat and David was talking about it, and I'm like, yo, this is right up my street, and they ain't found him. They ain't found the guy. Yeah. It was a very scary situation for me. I'm mostly, like by myself. So it's like not knowing if they got him or not. It was scary. When is there going to be a day when we can sleep? When is there going to be a day where we can feel like we're at peace? But when? I don't think ever with these white folks always walking around, and people of color, particularly Black people, are going to be the people that they target all the damn time. All the damn time. So this is what I look at. And it don't care. It don't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you are the vice president. That probably bothers them so much more. And I mean, like, look what happened at the Capitol. Look. So now they're just going to feel free to go walk up to these people's residence and ask to talk to this person, carrying. And
arrogance.
So
look at the level of arrogance and run that footage of him again, because, like, dude, you're nobody. Don't get me wrong. If you ask the humanity side of me, I'm going to say everybody is somebody, right? And if you ask me, like, when my heart is working, I think all humans have value. But in this instance, these people are nothing. And they are coming to grips with the fact that they're nothing in a society that tells them that they're supreme. So they're simultaneously on these chat rooms, these 4chans, and then they're doing their encrypted chats on Signal and whatnot. And they're getting angry because society is telling them that they are the superior race, that what's wrong with society is are Asian people, Black people, gay people. They're finding everyone else to blame except the fact that the same system that's telling them that they're superior is a system that's destroying their life. That's why you're nothing. You are nothing because white supremacy and capitalism has crushed your life. And so instead of going and fighting against white supremacy and capitalism, you want to run up at the vice president's house like you actually have standing. Like, dude, you're nobody but somebody who's in jail at this point.
But he's white, so he's more of somebody than the vice president in this nation.
In his eyes, that's exactly what
in this nation, not even only in his eyes. Seriously, like, she's Black, she's of color, however we want to put it. So that white man,
she Black,
has more power in America than she does. And as far as, like, this man could feel like he can walk. Let a Black person have walked up past Joe Biden's joint. He would have been shot before he even crossed the stop line.
Wouldn't even got that
right. Gone.
Bro, I can't make it out of Georgia with a gun, man, let alone make it to these cats. These people got to the inside the Speaker of the House office. And one of us tried anything like that. I mean, they're already in our chat rooms. We would not make it out of our state with one of our plans, and our system sit back and watch them all the way to the vice president's house. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. Wow.
I'm just glad that she wasn't actually there and she hasn't moved in yet. Because just think if she was there, what if this freaking idiot would have done worse? I mean, granted, I hope that he wouldn't have been able to, but I mean, it could have been much, much worse than what it was. Yep, he damn sure would have tried.
This is wild. Boy. Luke Kang in the chat room said they would have blasted a Black person with a plasma rifle. This shit don't even exist. They don't even exist. They would have came up. They would create guns on the spot to obliterate all Black people. They would have been pulling stuff out of comic books, James, just to blow us away. Like, it's amazing how much information they got on us, and they still can't find these folks from the January 6th terrorist attack. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Right.
I mean, it's facts. I mean, we could talk about that all day too, because I'm about tired. I'm about tired of it, but it ain't gonna stop. I don't know when it's gonna stop. I just don't know. Hopefully, when I pop out a big head baby, they won't have this kind of issue. But that's me asking too much. That's me reaching with short arms. I just don't know. I feel Well, I really feel overwhelmed with this stuff. Like, am I okay right now? I don't even know. Like,
you're not, and it's okay.
You're not, and it's okay.
It's terrible. And is it okay though? Because the fact that we're saying okay, it's okay, is not okay. But we have to say it's okay so that we can make it through the day. This is what our lives have been diminished to. You know, and it's ridiculous. The pandemic, the protesting, being afraid to live in a certain area because the shooter, the murderer is up the street. The murderer is at the doctor's office. The murderer is at the grocery store. The murderer is all around. And we don't know. Me having anxiety, it's like this heightened my anxiety. And for me, it's just like, I don't even want to, as much as, I said I want to be in these streets. I ain't going to be in these streets in this area. I don't feel protected.
Right.
I don't. I don't.
We're not okay. We're not okay. I was listening to, and I tagged you in it yesterday, I was listening to this fascinating and disturbing conversation with Tamir Rice's mother.
Yeah.
And she described, like, the whole conversation was about just the problems with, you know, all these people, these celebrity activists and all that kind of stuff. That was 99% of the conversation. But the 1% of the conversation where she actually had to describe what it was like for her to have to make a decision in the moment that Tamir Rice was killed, to have to either stay with her 2 children who were in handcuffs or go to the hospital with her 12-year-old son who had just been shot and died. And she had to make the choice to get in the hospital, get in the ambulance and go with her son so that she could be with him in his, he was already dead. And then I just thought about, man, God damn it, my son is about to turn 12. Oh, he's about to turn 11, and then he's going to be 12. And then I looked at my youngest son, and I'm like, you know, he's such a roughhouser. Like, you know what I mean? He backflips off the bed, and he's only three. And I'm like, this is the real sheer terror that we have in this country, because I'm terrified of letting my kids go anywhere without me. But it's completely impossible for us to live like that because it's just not, it's not feasible. But here we are in a country that will gun down children in a park. And we have people, an entire infrastructure around it that tells us ain't nothing wrong. There's no such thing as racism. There's no such thing as misogyny. There's no such thing as xenophobia. There's no such thing as homophobia. There's no such thing as white supremacy. They're gaslighting us. And while they're gaslighting us, they're killing our children. And the truth of the matter is, Rebecca, you're absolutely right. Like had I actually thought about these things, maybe we wouldn't have had kids, right? Because now I have to live with the constant terror that one day it could be my kids. But y'all gonna fuck around and find out. We're not okay, Rebecca. We're not. No. You can bring them back on the screen because I don't want to get too deep. We're not okay. And if they really want to see how un-okay I am, mess with our children.
And it sucks because the thing that you said, like, I don't have kids right now and I want kids. But when I think about that, it sucks because I have to, you know, you have kids, but then you also have yourself as a Black man. And then you also have to make sure that your wife is protected. But then you also have your brothers and you also, you know, all of these people around you. And the same thing for me when I think about my father, when I think about my mother being an immigrant and how she's treated at work. You know, especially during these last few months. It's all of this, and I'm not there to assist and to help. Right. So when I go home and I see the, what we call chagrin, I don't know how to say that in English, but the pain in their faces, you know, and they think it's okay.
Oh, you said
my mom
chagrin.
thinks that it's okay for her to go through what she goes through at her work because she has an accent. You know, this is not okay. You know, I got these nephews, all of them. And I don't know. It's just, it's hard. You know, it's very hard because my brother looks a certain kind of way. All of them got dreads. All of them, you know, they know how to code switch from here to there. But then it's like, my brother the other day was telling me he's tired of doing that. So he's just him, but he's being looked at differently. And when he goes to his workplace, he's getting looked at differently because he got dreads. It's just all of this in this whole thing. And I worry because I'm way over here. And I don't know. I just don't know. So I'm in a place sometimes where I'm triggered. And then on top of that, we got to worry about, because I'm first generation. So everything that's happening in Haiti as well on top of that. So most of my family is literally in Haiti, and which we can just go ahead and discuss the Haiti protest. So hundreds of thousands of Haitians have taken to the streets over the past few months to demand the departure of President Jovenel Moïse, whose term of office has expired. Not to him, though. A major issue raised by protesters is that Haitian government has failed to confront the lawlessness of gangs who engage in massive kidnapping, often with the complicity of cops, often with the complicity, of the cops. Many protesters emphasize that Moïse would be gone rather quickly if the U.S. stopped supporting him. In wake of the protest, some celebrities took to Twitter to show their support for Haiti with the hashtag Free Haiti. Cardi B, Ray Fisher were among some of the celebrities who did it. Tory Lanez said protect Haitian immigrants and asylum seekers, stating that his son was Haitian. Bobby Schmurder also tweeted, a lot of people tweeted Free Haiti, love to all my Zoes, which is a slang for Haitians. And so Vice News, and I wanted to put these two videos in there so you can give you some context as I continue to give context before I break it down. Vice News recently published a short documentary on the ongoing political crisis. Let's take a look at this short clip from Vice, which shows a Haitian resident breaking down how he feels about the politics here engaging into Haiti's business.
For President Biden, what do you think he can do right now for Haiti?
Pas une question de Joe Biden. Si ma pour un message par Joe Biden, c'est comme si m'a surpassé Joe Biden sous Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Pas une question ça. Joe Biden a mené une politique américaine jusqu'à présent. Joe Biden, démocrate. Donald Trump, républicain. Mais qui différence politique qui vient en réalité là? Même politique qui a supporté Jovenel.
So basically what he was saying, if you guys didn't see the beginning, basically he was asked about, you know, how you feel about Joe Biden helping Haiti. He's like, who? Joe Biden who? You're trying to say that Joe Biden is, when you're talking about Joe Biden, you're saying that I should put Joe Biden over Dessalines. And who was a leader of Haiti way back when. But here's the thing, like, he said something very important. They're both politicians. Joe Biden is a politician. Donald Trump is a Republican politician, and Joe Biden is a Democrat politician, and they both are the same. They don't care about Haiti. They're not doing anything for Haiti. And here's another view that I wanted to show. This is a clip I wanted to bring to you from journalist Chuck Modiano, who we had on the show before. This is from a protest that happened on Monday. Let's take a look.
When Dr. King spoke out against imperialism 54 years ago, he said, we are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. And I know that's still true when it comes to ending Western imperialism in Haiti and beyond. When Joe Biden was running for president, they said we had to wait to bring our demands to him until he got elected. When he got elected president, they said we had to wait until he was in office. And once he got put in office, they said we had to wait until after the first 100 days of his administration. Well, I think that's a mess. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now because Haitians are suffering under a U.S.-backed dictatorship right now. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now because our tax dollars are supporting authoritarianism in Palestine and Haiti and a lot of other places right now. And we are confronted with the fierce urgency of now because Haitians are being deported right now.
So, yes, she broke it down very well. A lot of this, it's funny because it's not funny, but I smile because it's interesting that he, and I'm talking about our current President Joe Biden, tweeted out back in 2020, at the end of last year, that he would, if he were president, what he would do for Haiti. and how he would speak to the people and help them and their voice matter, and step into the government and assist. And that's not something that he did. What he did was, as soon as he got into office, he actually backed the President Jovenel Moïse. And just to break it down, and this is going to be a breakdown from She Builds Global Initiative, which always definitely does a good job with discussing Haitian issues. So I'm going to break it down to you guys about what's happening. Let's start here. Back in the summer of 2018, inflation, fuel shortage, embezzlement was a thing. So inflation was spiraling, and government plans to raise fuel taxes caused violent protests. So that was happening in 2018. Demands for an accounting of the money that was given in August accused the two former prime ministers of embezzlement there. And this was the oil happening, and anger grew over the disappearance of billions of dollars linked to public finance programming. And during that fall of 2018, an increased protest continued, growing discontent with the then president, who was still the president, Mr. Moïse, with some marchers even calling for the president to resign. That was back in 2018. And then there was the viral digital protests with Côte Cob Precho Caribla. And that was the money that was given. And they were asking for where the money was. Haiti's high courts in 2019 of auditors released a 600+ page report as a deeper audit regarding the mismanagement of the Petro-Carib funds. The corruption scandal was at the heart of the violent protest that threatened to cause President Jovenel Moïse's downfall. So Haitians were taken to the street all through 2019. In that summer, Moïse denied any wrongdoing and reiterated that he will not step down despite the ongoing protests. Now, increased security, gang violence, and kidnappings started. So there was anger of those things happening over people being killed and kidnapped, and violent attacks. Armed gang members. And I want to say this, why I'm saying about gang members. In Haiti, on the ground right now, gang members have more power than any officials. In order to go into a certain part of Haiti or a certain part of the city, the gang members, you have to build a relationship with them to get in and things like that. And it's recently there were 4 cops who were killed, which I'm going to discuss, but there were 4 cops who were killed, and they're still being investigated. One is missing. And the people who did it had government rifles in their hands. So they have no money. These are slum areas, but government rifles were given to them, which tells me that there's a connection, and which a lot of people in Haiti are saying the same thing. There's a connection between the government and the gang members, and how they're literally connecting to keep these people the way it is. But disputes over presidential mandate. Since February 14th, thousands of Haitians have taken to the streets every weekend in the capital of Port-au-Prince and elsewhere to protest Jovenel Moïse's refusal to step down. This dispute is over whether Moïse's 5-term began in 2016 after the initial elections he won, or in 2017. He was voted into office. A 2015 poll later canceled on grounds of fraud, and then elected a year later again. So they've been fighting that. The situation has rapidly devolved since Moïse made clear that he would not leave, basically a dictatorship, which Haiti does not want at all right now. So the police killing. So on Friday, March 12, 2021, a botched raid on a gang stronghold in Port-au-Prince slum left at least 4 Haitian police officers dead, another missing, and their armored vehicles and high automatic weapons seized. Within hours of the ill-fated Friday operation in the village de Dieu, which is the village of God slum, the hashtag Free Haiti emerged, riding a wave of anger as videos showed gang members dragging the bodies of 2 cops. This is all over social media, which created the hashtag Free Haiti. We say this because I know a lot of people are saying, why are you blaming U.S.? Right now, U.S. has stepped in and been a part of a lot of the government issues because of their relationships with the government there. There's no real government in the smaller cities. There's nothing controlling it but the gangs. And the gangs have relationships with the government. So the embezzlement, all of this that's been happening, this is what they're screaming about. They're screaming about the corruption that's in office, but also tied to the U.S. government, who keeps putting their feet, hands, mouth, everything in it, saying that they're going to assist, but nothing, there's no help. We can go all the way back to when the earthquake happened and money was given, or Hillary Clinton was supposed to be over building a lot of houses there, or rebuilding them. There was enough money to rebuild Haiti as a whole, but we came out with 6 homes since the earthquake. And where is that money? So that's why they went from that, and now they got on social media, started to get a voice, and talked about the money that was necessary from the Petro-Carib funds that was supposed to assist Haiti. Billions of dollars. Corruption. There was nothing really done for the community that could have been done. So much help can go into Haiti, but it's why we're so upset is because countries like the U.S., all the way back from us getting our freedom with France, always had their foot on our necks as a Haitian people because we want to be free. We should not be still in chains. There was a point in time that Haiti was the most lavish and loved country, but that was too much because we fought for our freedom.
Right.
These people, these Europeans, wanted their foot on our necks. Fast forward to today, the U.S. has been in connection to corruption that happens in Haiti. In order to keep Haiti the way it is, and continue to abuse it, use their land to pay people's pennies to $1, okay, to grow foods and things like that and bring to the U.S., secretly build homes there, those kind of things. We got to keep Haiti down and Haitian people down. That's what they think. But now they got voices. Now they're in the streets, and now they're going to call out people like Joe Biden, who said that he would assist, but is deporting people back to Haiti during a pandemic, during these protestings, during these gangs and people missing, shipping people back to Haiti, deporting people back to Haiti right now, not giving a damn during this time. This is what we're talking about. And so when they're fighting, when people are speaking, it cannot be, oh, wow, we're blaming America. It's not that. We're calling America and we're holding America accountable. Another thing, people, my folks, Haitian people who are saying, oh, Haitians are just always like this and they're going to burn the country down. They will burn it down if they are not being heard. This is our history. They will burn it down if we're not being heard. They're tired. The people are tired of being looked at as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. There is so much more. If you haven't been there, then you do not know. You do not understand the struggles. This is my bloodline. So when I talk about it with this passion. I want it to grow. I want those people to be heard. So it cannot be a dictatorship. There's corruption. There's partnerships with gangs. There is no laws. There is nothing that is going around in these smaller cities. Nobody cares. People are dying. People are hungry. This is what's going on. So I challenge everyone who's watching right now to educate yourself on what's going on and how you can help. And I challenge my Haitian social media sisters and brothers. I know that it's kind of a scary moment right now to talk about what's happening, but all of you guys, listen. In order to keep that free Haiti on and keep it going and to keep pushing Jovenel Moïse until he is out of office and we can get somebody in office that actually cares about the people, listens to their voice, cares about the communities and rebuilding each community. And we got to keep on pushing this and talking about it like Black Lives Matter, like we do Black Lives Matter here in America. Yes, it's another thing on our shoulders. Yes, it's another thing that we have to deal with as Haitian Americans, but that is our motherland. We should be talking about it every single day. Hashtag free Haiti. Again, hashtag free Haiti. Until we say it backwards, Haiti is free. And that's that on that.
And that's on Mary Hat. James, you know what to do, man.
Shout out to everybody this morning, y'all. We thank y'all so much for joining. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, y'all. It's like it or not.
You'll never feel the way I feel. You don't know if my love is real. Baby, listen to me.
And before I get into the music real quick, I do want to send a shout out to Diallo, one of our followers here in the chat. Diallo's son is actually on ventilator, so we want to make sure that's recovering from COVID. So shout out to Diallo, y'all. Keep him in his prayers. And we definitely want to send our prayers, our love out to your family, Diallo. We got you, all right? Stay strong, brother. Stay strong.
Wrecking ball, tear apart, issues left behind, restart. Nothing you say makes it better. Hey, bring it right back to me, baby. No, we've been here before. Give me the real this time, no cap, no lies. It's our own core. Bring it right back to me, baby. I know my heart wants more. Give me the good this time, no cap, no lies. It's our own core. I never wanna give you up. I know we've been through way too much, but I'm confident we'll make it through. I'm here for you, you're not by yourself. Late o'clock, body talk. There's no need to bring it up. Nothing you say makes it better. Wrecking ball, tear apart, issues left behind, restart. Nothing you say makes it better. Bring it right back to me, baby.
Dude, good morning, good morning.
Been here before. Give me the real this time, no cap, no lies. It's our own core. Bring it right back to me, baby. I know my heart wants more. Give me the good this time, no cap, no lies. It's our own core.
Micah, love you too. I appreciate that.
I pull up to the club looking fresh always. Ladies tryna cop my style, no way. Gonna keep fighting like it's my damn day. I'ma do right, I'ma do it my way. I got the swag, I got the bills, I got the thoughts.
Natural is the natural oil. Yeah.
Pull up to the crib and it's fresh always.
Yeah.
They just try to steal my shit, no way. Down the floor, cause I'm here to say, no one mess with me on bench, they ain't getting
straight. Y'all see it.
I got the bills, I got the thoughts online.
I get the money.
Y'all, welcome back to the screen, y'all. Ben and Rebecca.
Like, I ain't got nothing to say. I just said, man, look. That's all I had.
Well, look, every time we come back laughing, I feel like I gotta include our family into
right. Because James, you laugh, but you don't give them context. I know the audience be like, we want to laugh too.
So now I gotta come back and give y'all the tea. So listen, I was asking them because I was looking at James' head, and then I looked over at Ben's, and I was like, dang, do you guys put something on it to give it that nice shine? Because it's like a healthy shine.
Nope.
And then, Dwayne, who you guys haven't seen, is also bald. And he was saying
our whole ass team is bald, basically. We got maybe three people on our team who aren't bald. Everybody else is bald as us. So go ahead.
Max and Jake, I think they the only one that have hair.
Max and Jake. And Eric.
Well, so David was saying... Yeah, David. No, Max got a bayang. Jake got the pony. They got the hair. But David was saying how he's a white man, and he was saying how he too has the shine on his head. So I've never really seen a white man that really got the shine like that.
Oh, no, look at that Klansman from yesterday. The police officer.
Unless they really are balding, like bald. The hair is not coming back. Because they sometimes have that little buzz situation. But anywho, sorry.
Right.
The George Washington.
Yeah. Yes. That one.
We have the George Jefferson. They get the George Washington.
George Washington, right? Because when this hair grow back in, I don't know if y'all ever seen when this hair grow. This hair grow around the sides, and that's it. This don't grow at the top at all. It looks straight like George Jefferson.
What's that, Dwayne? Can the people hear you?
They can now. I said, Bubba.
What were you say?
Bubba, when Bubba hair grow back in, he got a summer fro.
Some over here. Some over here. Some over here.
Wait.
Hey, listen.
So Dwayne, does yours grow in anywhere?
Yeah, mine still
Same
grows.
places.
I made a decision to shave mine off when I was like 29. I was like, let's see. It's just hair. It'll grow back. And I was like,
And it didn't
I
grow
kinda
back.
like this. No, I was like, I
Listen.
like this. So I kept shaving. And
Did it? Wait. So can you? The question is,
right?
Can you
Does
grow
yours
your
grow
hair back?
Dwayne?
Yeah. If I let it.
Oh, it does.
If I didn't shave
Screw
for about
you,
4 or 5
Dwayne.
days,
Man, you're not.
Oh,
you-
Dwayne,
screw
you're
you,
not
Dwayne.
really a bald.
You
not
bald in name. You
Somebody
Bino.
beat Dwayne.
Bald in name only.
Okay, somebody
Play.
beat Dwayne.
Dwayne, that doesn't count.
No, I'm
That doesn't
thinking.
count at all.
See, the way I found out I was bald is if you look back in my younger days, I had them dogs, man. I had them waves, and so like I let you let them go. If you don't keep waves up, they disappear. So I didn't keep them up, and then one year I was like, you know what? Let me get my dogs back, and I'm brushing. I'm gonna get. I said my waves gonna be killing, and I noticed I had all kind of waves on the side, all the waves I needed in the back, but this right here wasn't doing nothing. And that's when I knew. That's when I knew it was over. So I just let it go.
Mine was
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bubba,
Florida
how was yours?
Classic. It was a Florida Classic game, and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna shave my head and give y'all a backstory. I talked about my brother because he was getting widow's peak, so he had a little thing going on right there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, ha, you going bald? Ha, just talking about it. So was going to Classic. I'm like, I'm gonna shave my head. I'm gonna put my little scarf on, look like Tupac in this thing.
Yep.
So when the hair started growing back, it didn't grow back right here in the front. I'm like, what the hell? And then in the center as well too. So I'm just like, yeah, just gotta stay bald. Okay, cool.
I had them dogs, bro. Like I was like, because they taught us well at Cookman. One of the things they teach you well is how to get them dogs. Like you get it, you get the Dax wax, and then you wax it down. You put on your do rag. I got more pictures of me in a do rag at Cookman than I do without a do rag. And lo and behold, 10 years later. I lived in the do-rag. And then about 10 years later, I'm walking out of the church one day and I'm realizing, wait a minute, it's just, I can't get no waves right here. And then one of my homegirls back at the time, she saw it, she was like, you about to be George Jefferson. I said, no.
Oh, don't put that on your life. Don't put that on your life.
And yeah, it was a hex. It never grew back, so.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
No, wait.
Ben
Now,
is always gonna have that hairline.
I could get the hairline right here.
Yeah,
now,
Ben is gonna always have that hairline.
But it's right here.
So
It's right-
Dwayne, you were saying that because I was saying that you're a fake bald person, but you just clarified that no, you indeed are receding and it's bald in the middle, so that George Jefferson was coming in. It was coming for you. But it's funny because I don't know if it's something that in the foods that people are eating. Because back in the 90s, they used to be dudes was just gone right here. You had that permanent, like you were saying, widow's
the
peak.
food,
I have
Rebecca.
a natural widow's peak, but dudes had that. They ain't had no real edge line. They had the hair. Now the guys are just at 15 years old. They gone. Edges is way back here. Is it the Clippers?
The stress.
It's the stress.
It's capitalism. I'm blaming capitalism. It is capitalism.
Right.
It's all of that mess. But shout out to the ball guys with the gold tees. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. Kirk Franklin, you gotta let it go, baby.
Yes.
I saw you in an interview with
Tyler Perry, let it go.
Beijing.
Imagine
that Beijing on the
go.
edge line. It's
who else out there faking with hair like they got real hair? Tyler Perry got that Beijing. Kirk Franklin got that Beijing.
Omari Hardwick. He got to let it go.
Omari Hardwick.
Good something.
Yeah. It's
LeBron
okay to be
James.
bald. LeBron.
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant started very young. These
Kevin
people
Durant.
are receding.
I need LeBron to make better decisions. I need him to make decisions about his hair like he make on the court.
But
They paid too much money for their head to be looking like that.
Yeah, but the best decision that the LeBron made recently was partnering with Florida A&M University to represent us every time he goes out and plays the game. If you haven't seen it already, you should go check it out. They partnered with Nike, Florida A&M, and LeBron James. There is a shoe collection that is out for it, and he's been repping that orange and that green lately.
Did them shoes lose their accreditation like the school did?
The school never. As soon as the school lost its accreditation, it came right back. But Ben, you guys just became a university. Be quiet.
That's fine.
Listen. Let me tell you something. And where did you go?
Some really
where
good
did you
black
go to
stories.
get your platform? But to a Wildcat.
Period.
Sweetie, listen, Ben, you guys could say nobody knows BCU. Every other black HBCU.
What you mean? Don't nobody know BCU? Everybody knows BCU.
You don't know BCU.
Okay. Well, Rebecca, what I will give you, I will give you this.
BCC. You
I will give you this.
yourself.
Hang on. I'm gonna give you this.
Leave me alone.
If nobody else know BCU or BCC, FAMU haven't won a classic in the last 10 years. Y'all know who the hell we are.
Because our marching band eats you alive. It doesn't matter about the
y'all
football.
Ain't even y'all got people on the field.
Best marching band in the land.
Y'all people on the marching band be on the field
of 7 Hills. Got the best part. That's why they never choose y'all for nothing. Everybody chooses us for every performance. They don't choose y'all.
Like
they
last
don't
year
choose
after y'all ain't
y'all.
been like for 10 years.
Listen, Dwayne,
Because
if you can
y'all
hear
so
me, you
ghetto.
say, Mike, you play this Black Joy, baby. Because I can't do it. I ain't doing it today. They already got stressed out since this morning. They ain't going to do it today.
These stories got us stressed out anyway.
Now they got us fighting. Let's reunite on some Black Joy.
Yes, unite around some Black Joy. All right, hell Wildcats.
Hell Wildcats.
That's out to them Rattlers. Let's do that first video.
Whatever the clip is, let's see what it is.
Orange and green and orange, right through my blood.
I got it.
That's
No, Dwayne, run this back. Run it back.
You're gonna see him soon, I promise. You don't have to cry, you see him soon, okay?
No, this is so cute.
Yeah, I need you guys to watch it.
I got it.
See you later, baby.
You're gonna see him soon, I promise. You don't have to cry, you see him soon, okay?
Oh, she's crying.
She said, I hope I see him.
Oh, my baby. I gotta go home. Where am I
crying on this show today?
Jeremiah, where you at, man? Where my baby at?
Look,
Jeremiah gonna come in there terrorizing you.
Oh, I ain't got no baby.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait a minute. It's just me. Never mind.
Junior.
Oh, Lord.
Junior.
You say Junior. I love it.
Junior. Bien. That really touched me because it was the relationship
so
that she was
adorable.
like with her grandfather. You know, they're kissing goodbye and he's saying, I got it. And then when he's like, I'll see you later. And she says, see you later. And then when she's like, I hope I see him. That killed me. Because you know why it killed me? Because there go my emotional behind. I took it way back. Like, imagine the grandparents who didn't get to see their grandbabies all of this time. And they had to see them through windows. And, her relationship, there's another video. Her relationship with him is so invested and deep. Like, he plays tea parties with her. He fake cooks with her, puts on makeup with her. He loves his grandchild, man. And that's why I'm like, God, please, Lord, help me in this, because I want a kid. I really do. You guys, I aspire to be a mom. And I want my dad to be able to have that type of relationship with my or daughter, especially with me having the surgery a few years ago. That makes me want kids even more. Like, I want to pop out some babies. Like, I do. Yeah. So.
Well, don't say that too much because you're going to have people from the audience jumping in your DMs saying, we can help Rebecca.
Right. But I want to. I need a little baby Bubba running around here.
Baby Bubba?
Right.
Hey, baby Bubba. Which rapper is that? Which rapper?
B&B. BB.
Baby Bubba. That's where we go. Baby Bubba. Oh, man. I love that. What's the next Black Joy? Give me some
Yeah, roll that next Black Joy.
Yo, Pop. Yo! Kill it for me, man. Oh, put on your red dress and step in your high heels.
Come on.
And some of that sweet buffoon. It so smells good on you.
He's singing.
On your
That's Pops right there.
That's Pops.
And let your hair down. Cause baby, when you get through, I'm gonna show you.
That's all right.
You know, that's the guy that sings, I need my stimulus check, yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I need my stimulus check, yeah.
I'm still checking every morning.
So
First
that's your
thing
song.
I do, first thing I wake up in the morning, let me log into this bank. God damn you, Joe Biden! I swear to God, if I don't qualify for this stimulus check, I'm a vote for Republican.
Yes.
I'm joking.
No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm very much joking.
Yeah, that was a joke. Don't sound like that, y'all.
But yes, I need you to play it again real quick so that you could. I want Ben to hear that first note. I want y'all to hear that first note real quick.
The devil is a lie. I'll say that for her.
Yo, Pop. Yo! Kill it for him, man.
You heard that?
Yeah, he took the church today.
It was off, but it was on. It's Jodeci. It's like he was in that group. He's Casey. That's JoJo.
That's JoJo. That's JoJo for real.
You get blue. I'm gonna show you.
Certain things you take, you know, we don't even let other folks. Yet it ain't the Kappa shit me anymore. When you get a certain name, I'm gonna say hey.
Jeremiah,
everybody say hey.
What up, nephew?
Say hey.
Let me tell y'all.
He said no. I freshened up his mohawk a couple months ago.
You gotta let it grow out, Ben. Just let it all grow, baby. Let it all grow.
All right, get out of here, man.
You giving him a permanent widow's peak. Why he got that? What's that wrestler's name with the gold chains everywhere?
Mr. T.
That's what you gave that baby.
Yeah. We haven't listen. The pandemic has been long. The pandemic has been long, and I have been experimenting. If y'all see Benjamin's hair, y'all gonna never talk to me again because I don't know what the hell going on with that boy here. But you know what? Actually, I'm sorry, I do know. He wants to grow dreads.
Okay.
Damn. Never mind. Anyway, but we got any more Black Joy?
No, before we get to that, I wanted to tell you guys. So I was there when I first met Ben. His wife was, I think, like only a few weeks pregnant at the time, I believe.
No, she wasn't pregnant yet.
Oh,
she was pregnant after that trip, though, for sure.
Oh, okay. So then after that, yeah. Okay, so I don't know. So anywho, that happened, but I watched all that happen. But I want to say, because Jeremiah, seeing Jeremiah right there is crazy because I have pictures of me and Ben, and I wish I could put that up and we block out the other people's faces. But I got pictures of, like, I was like, I told them, like, I want to plan a baby shower for Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Ben was miserable by y'all. He was a miserable person.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to plan a baby shower for him. So, partnering with the team. And I'm coming in like, make sure we put the stuff on the wall. Ben was already having an attitude that day. Listen, when he saw
I remember that.
When he saw he was just like, oh, thanks. But we took a picture with the people with the people that we were working with. They were all white. We were the only Black people. And in the picture, I got my hand on Ben as protection. On his shoulder, and Ben's looking like the fakest smile, and I'm looking like,
is it that bad of a picture?
The picture's like, get out. It's telling us to get out, and they're over here like
like they have the time of their lives.
We're like this.
Oh man.
And but then it's crazy because then I saw the baby. Then your wife had brought the baby. Mm-hmm. No, I went to the sip and see, and that was really good. But then when she brought the baby again, he was covered in the stroller. And I was like, dang, he got his daddy head. Because I'm like, the baby was his body was so small, but it was nothing but head in the stroller. Yeah. And Jeremiah is a beautiful baby. He looks like his mom. But he got his daddy head.
Yeah, boy.
He got my
Okay, I'm gonna find the picture.
He definitely got my head, and I got no comment. He got my head. That's
He's a beautiful baby, but you guys made some beautiful kids. You guys did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we did. God is good.
No more babies.
Hell no.
Y'all would have been had a pandemic baby. Y'all would have been like that was the case. It would have been. Everybody had pandemic. There's an article that I saw that stated. Actually, I was watching it on the news. I don't know if I was on CNN or a local news channel, and they were saying the reason why, the pandemic, let's talk more about the pandemic and the reason why more people weren't having babies. So coming up after 6 o'clock, we're going to discuss why there wasn't a baby boom in 2020. Mm-hmm. I was like,
because nobody got time for that.
Who
got the money Who got the money? Who gonna bring a baby into a pandemic besides those people who actually, like they didn't realize, because the pandemic came kind of quick for people who weren't paying attention. Like, lo and behold, you had to have a baby in the pandemic. But then, who gonna bring a baby to this here America?
I said, run me that birth control today because it's protest out here. It's a pandemic. I can't be living on a hope and a dream. Run me that birth control today.
Nobody got time for that.
Today.
If people knew at the beginning of the pandemic they was gonna get $1,400 per kid, they would have.
Now
that's why I'm trying to call Joe Biden. Listen here, man.
I feel like we're disrespected. Now we're looked at people who ain't got no.
Why y'all think I check my bank account every morning? Cause I ain't getting $1,400. I might not get nothing, honestly.
But
if I got something, I got 3 kids. Y'all do the math.
What about my little brother? I be taking care of him. Can he be his kids? They all listen. I'm the type of auntie that take care of everybody's kids. Everybody owe me some money if you got kids, and you've been in my life. Run me at least $200 right now. Cash app it to me right now because I am that kind of a godmother. Y'all over here using me to be the mama of the baby when y'all got to go do what y'all got to do. Run me my coins.
Now I'm just thinking, but I don't know. Here's the trade-off. You get them coins right now, or you got to stay indoors to 2022 to get them vaccinated.
No, you hold on to your coins. I'm about to be out in the streets. The streets is calling.
Right.
The streets is calling. I agree. I'm gonna have to figure it out because I gotta get to work. Oh Lord, here's a picture. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, James Bubba Williams. You put it in there, we're gonna put it on the screen.
We gotta put the screen, bro.
We're gonna put it on the screen. Good Lord Almighty. That's my dog.
I want to see it.
Oh, it's in Slack. You got to look at it in Slack. Hey, you go.
That's you, Bubba?
This just for Rebecca too.
Oh Lord, James.
Bubba, first of all,
yeah, I got caught slipping a few times.
The audience see it. Hey, go. Y'all wait till y'all see this.
First and second of all,
it's a good meme.
I don't like the title. Remove that title.
No, leave the title. There it is.
Definitely leave the title.
That is James Bubba Williams, circa. I would say that's easily 1999.
Yeah, 99, 2000. Yeah.
And y'all was in college in 1999.
Yeah, we were in college in 99. Yeah. We all, Rebecca.
Yeah. I was in
a different breed over here. You in 5th grade? Oh, were you in 5th grade?
Mm-hmm. I graduated high school at 16.
Oh,
yes,
so you were smart.
Yeah.
Dang, so you were like 3 years old in 5th grade?
Imagine that.
Don't try it. First of all, I went to the best HBCU in the nation. Take that crap out.
God. Here we go again. Hell, Wildcats. That is how exhausted we were after every single halftime because we actually marched. We actually played. We actually danced. Versus some of the people there's plenty of video, and you think I'm lying, Rebecca. Don't step it because I got the receipts. There's plenty. You had whole tuba players. You had whole tuba players from FAMU without the megaphone at the top, without the sousaphone at the top.
Without mouthpieces.
Without mouthpieces.
Even then, we're still greater than you. Even when we are on our worst, we're still better than you. And with that being said, shout out to Florida A&M University, October 3rd, 1887. What? I represent that university all day, every day. Shout out to all the Rattlers. Listen, it's us. It's always been us. It will always be people that want to hate, people that never even went to a university. Do you guys even know what that looks like? It's okay. It's okay. You guys want to be, but never can. We're often, we're often imitated but never duplicated. We brag different over there on the hill. We brag different over there on the hill.
Y'all do brag different.
So just please.
People bragging with nothing to brag about. That's how they brag differently. Turn her down and turn up. Let's go Wildcats. Hey.
No, don't do that.
Hey, turn up.
No.
Turn it up.
Dwayne, mute them.
We ain't got nothing to do we?
Anyway, shout out to the Wildcats, though. You guys are cute, and one thing about it, you guys will always be family, but, never the best aunties. We're the rich aunties. You know, like the...
Hey, we going to have people in the chat room.
Shout out. Yeah, shout out to FAMU though, because when I tell you, I had some of the most funnest times in my life at Florida A&M University. Child. I'm not gonna lie to you though. There was some stuff that went down that was just like, man, that's amazing. That made my college.
Do it again.
I do it again.
And I do it again.
An HBCU, there is nothing like an HBCU experience. If you've never had it, I feel sorry for you. If you have kids, definitely look into giving them that HBCU experience. I will say, I went over to.
But send the blood of Jesus up there with them.
No, well, yeah,
send the anointing oil up there with them.
Yeah,
because everything I learned to do wrong, I learned.
But it's the way that we did wrong was from Thursday through Saturday or Thursday through Sunday.
Ooh, Thursday through Monday.
Well, right. Well, not me. Oh, no, not at FAMU, baby. We made sure Sunday nights was devoted to the homework that we never touched during the week. But on across the train tracks at FSU, they were doing it Sunday to Sunday, to Sunday, and Sunday to Sunday. Like I said, I was a dancer, so I also went and danced over at.
Wait, you danced with FAMU's band?
No.
Oh, that's right. FAMU don't got dancers.
No.
They don't have dancers.
The band dances, and we do. They're called the Diamond Dancers. First of all, get it right. Go check
the Diamond Dolls.
Y'all don't be on the field, so it don't matter.
No. Anywho, we have our cheerleaders, our dancers. We have the strikers. We have a lot of dancers that dance with.
Shout out to the strikers.
Anywho,
shout out to the strikers,
man.
Strikers be putting it down. You know, I don't care what generation
I dance Orchesis Contemporary Dance Theater. Shout out to Orchesis Contemporary Dance Theater. It's your girl.
Shout out to the dopest. I can't even describe it. We need a Horatio to introduce the baddest dancers in all of HBCU. Shout out to the platinum gold 14K dancers from Bethune-Cookman University.
14K gold dancers.
Oh Jesus!
Yes. Anywho, y'all ain't have none. Y'all just had all them flags. That's all.
It's okay. It's like
that's
let
all
it go.
Y'all have
Let
flags.
it go. Y'all, I don't know that university. You can't speak on a university that you've never been. Like y'all don't know of university quality. Y'all don't know. So please keep it down when y'all.
I know we beat y'all for the last decade. I know y'all ain't won a classic in a decade.
Any celebrities know where that school is located. I don't even
They
who
absolutely know where we
graduated from
located.
that university.
Well, go to break. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
No, we gotta get out.
I had to leave. Honestly, I had to get out of the Cookman. It was not good for my soul. It was just.
I made it through.
More women than people should have. It was just a mess. It was a mess. I literally sat in my dorm. I sat in my dorm and I said, if I don't leave this school, I'm going to hell. So
no, you and a lot of people when it comes to HBCUs, a lot of people did. I had girlfriends that I came in with from my high school and stuff like that. We all came in. My clique was deep.
But I want to say this though. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Your clique was deep.
Because you gonna stop. But my clique was deep, and we came in real thick. But we were all like just having a good time, and a lot of them had to go home because the same thing that you're saying, Ben. It became too much, and they couldn't withstand. I became one of the last ones standing in that.
But let me tell you the difference though. When I left Bethune-Cookman, I went to a PWI to finish up, and it literally was a downgrade in the quality of education. Like leaving from Cookman and the way they challenged us academically and like just in terms of the rigorous training. Then I went to another school I won't name. It was like walking. I could have finished that school walking blindfolded, smoking like a pound of weed every day, and
they wouldn't care.
And finish it. And they would not have noticed because it just wasn't challenging. So shout out to all HBCUs, because one thing I know about every HBCU, you might come in one way, but they gonna challenge the hell out of you to get that.
And that's exactly what they tell you that too when you coming in. They're like, you might come in one way, but even if you came in for a little bit of an experience, you will never leave the same. You will never leave the same.
Right. You might leave. Never mind. Go to break. What you about to say?
And then I was about to say, and Ben punk ass left me. Oh, punk ass.
He couldn't make it through, but you stayed,
Ben,
Bubba, and that's why.
Bro, I was worried about my soul salvation back then. I was like,
I know, bro. I'm gonna bring up one instance, and we ain't gonna talk about it. But you remember me, you, and Maya walking to the damn beachside that night? It was like messed up, and we came back.
Yeah.
You know, I might have an illegitimate love child somewhere, Ben.
I came back.
Hey, solidarity with Maya. Love that sister. You know,
Love
I
my
saw
sister, man.
We lost her some years ago. Also, I saw Nelly. I remember trumpet player Nelly, who marched right next to me. We lost her some years ago. The years are not kind sometimes, folks, but we got a lot of joy, a lot of memories and everything.
Yes.
We do want that third hour. If you guys actually don't go to patreon.com/BPD show, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to set up a whole different Patreon just for Like It or Not. That way we can track it very closely, and we're going to make sure that we get my free Azor and free Bubba. We're going to free Azor and free Bubba. We're going to get that for you
right
tomorrow.
now, send up them super chats while he's giving this tea.
Oh, damn, we forgetting about Dwayne, bro.
Free all of us. So that we can do this daily and give you guys
because we got a whole that's what we got to start doing. Starting on Monday, what we're doing right now, we're going to do for everyone who is a patron, either of the BPD show or you're a subscriber on Twitch, or you are a subscriber and patron for Like It or Not, we're going to do a post-game show. It might be 15 minutes some days. It might be 30 minutes another day. We'll figure it out. But that's our way, because we need y'all support so we can free Azor, free James, and free Dwayne.
Somebody said, so a building fund, huh? Yes, this is the building fund. Amen.
It is the building fund.
Hallelujah.
A building fund, that's exactly what we need, because I want out. And when I say I want out, I mean that with everything in me. And I know that Bubba feels the same. Dwayne, I don't know your story, but now you don't want to be left out. We ain't going to leave you out, cousin. We're not going to leave our cousin Dwayne out.
Listen, and tell me where else you could go. Because today's episode was amazing. Yesterday's episode, where else can you go from talking about the serious news to twerking to socialism, and it all flows whether you like it or not?
Well, you like
only right here.
Throw this microphone at
or not.
I love you.
I'm out of here, y'all.
Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. It's Friday. We got some really great guests. Make sure that you guys are sending up those super chats. Patreon's coming up. Go follow. Go follow Like It or Not show on Instagram right now. And make sure you guys go like everything. Go repost everything. I'm talking about get it up, because we are the hottest thing right now on the People's Net in the morning. And
we just getting started.
And we're just getting started.
Wait till we start taking live callers. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Man, I can't
out of
wait
here.
for
So ratchet on the lines.
Oh my God.
Hey, we so ratchet. See y'all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Love y'all.
Love you too.
Don't break my heart. Just say that you won't go and break my heart. Break my heart. Don't break my heart.
Shout out to everybody this morning that tuned in and joined us, y'all. We got one more song for y'all today. Y'all know what time it is. I'm going to say that for tomorrow.
Break my heart. Break my heart. Don't break it down. Break my heart. Don't break my heart.
Shout out Dwayne in the chat room, man. Y'all give us free ASAP, please, because I can't stand this crap no more.
You seem like you wish that I was her.
Shout out to everybody that's in the building, y'all. Hey, man, we thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, y'all.
Something's missing. Me. I know.
You better dab on them, Goku.
Closed door kissing. Let me be alright.
Amber, good morning, Amber.
Let me be your great escape. Show you to this higher life. When nobody's in on the game, I'll be a secret. I'll be a tiny little secret. Can you keep it? Oh, baby, I hope you can keep it.
All right, y'all. That is going to do it for your boy, James Bubba Williams, DJ Exclusive, y'all. Shout out to everybody today that has sent up a super chat. Everybody that sent the chat. Oh, gosh. Everybody that watched, we greatly appreciate y'all, man. Make sure that y'all tune in tomorrow. You don't want to miss the show. Gonna be a good one, just like the other shows the rest of this week, y'all. And tomorrow is Friday. Woo! We made it through the week, y'all. Anywho, your boy DJ Exclusive is out. Make sure that you go like, subscribe, share, comment wherever you follow us at. And like it or not, we'll be back tomorrow morning, y'all. Mwah. Deuces. See you in the morning.